it must become deeper, broader, more efficient, and more accessible to Nigerians from all walks of life. So today, as we engage in discussion, let us do so with both humility and ambition. Humility because our history teaches us that progress is never automatic. Ambition also is because the future of Nigerian capital market can still be far greater than its past. We owe it to the pioneers, today's investors and operators, and to the generation yet to come to build a market that is trusted, inclusive, innovative, and globally competitive. I wish us all a fruitful deliberation as we progress. Thank you from Dr. Mamotimi Agama, Director General, Securities and Exchange Commission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Briggs. From one gentleman of the city to other gentlemen of the city. Thank you, DG Securities and Exchange Commission. We're moving on right now to the next item of the program. I mentioned that we will be watching the documentary of FTC. So please get the documentary ready. We will come right after this. Now, it's my pleasure to welcome the President and Chairman of Council of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers to deliver the keynote address at this august occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the young lady, a professional, an expert, a technocrat who knows onions, and is privileged to serve as the President at such a time as this. Mrs. Fiona Ahime. Please put your hands together for her.
I'm a young lady that has to use my glasses. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't like to go us with protocol, but I'd like to greet the Director General. I'd like to greet the Chairman of Action. I'd like to greet my past President, Mr. Dipo Aino, who is here. I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Board and Management of FTC for inviting us to this particular occasion. I had a conflict for 11 o'clock, hence the need for the change in the program. And please, I'll pray your indulgence. I'm going to try to join online up until when I cannot. But I'll try to make my speech as short as possible as I need to run. So please forgive me if it looks like it's rushed. It is with immense pleasure, profound honor, and a deep sense of responsibility that I stand before this distinguished gathering today to celebrate a remarkable milestone, the Golden Jubilee Anniversary of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited. 50 years is not merely a measurement of time. It is a testament to resilience, credibility, innovation, professionalism, and enduring impact. It is a celebration of visionaries who dared to build indigenous institutions at a time when confidence in local capacity was limited. Today we celebrate not only an institution but also a legacy of excellence that has contributed significantly to the growth and development of the Nigerian capital market. On behalf of the Governing Council and the entire membership of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, I heartily congratulate the board, management, staff, clients, and stakeholders of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited on this historic milestone. Their journey over the past 5 decades represents the triumph of indigenous enterprise, the power of professionalism, and the enduring value of integrity in financial services. The theme of this celebration, 50 years of indigenous excellence, shaping the future of the Nigerian capital market, is both timely and profound. The Nigerian capital market has evolved significantly over the past 50 years. From a relatively very modest undeveloped market structure in the 1970s, Nigeria has grown into one of Africa's most dynamic financial markets, serving as a vital platform for capital formation, wealth creation, investment mobilization, and economic transformation. Institutions such as Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited play strategic roles in this transformation. We heard the chairman speak about it, how the founding fathers made it possible for most of the things we are seeing here to come to them. The achievement deserves recognition because building sustainable indigenous financial institutions in a developing economy requires courage, discipline, foresight, and consistency. Indeed, your success story reinforces an important national lesson. Sustainable economic development cannot occur without strong indigenous institutions. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian capital market remains one of the most critical drivers of economic development. It provides long-term financing for government and corporations, support entrepreneurship, deepens financial inclusion, and facilitates national wealth creation. Over the years, we have witnessed major reforms and innovations within the market, some of which include the dematerialization of share certificates, introduction of electronic trading platforms, growth of collective investment schemes, expansion of bond markets, development of commodities and derivative markets, improved regulatory frameworks, increased adoption of financial technology solutions, and greater emphasis on sustainability and responsible investing. Now, very recently, we have gone to settlement cycle of T+2, and very soon we are looking at T+1. We have extended our trading session from 9:30 to 2:30 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 4. So a lot of developments are actually happening in our Nigerian market. These milestones have strengthened market integrity and enhanced investor confidence. However, despite these achievements, significant opportunities still exist for growth and expansion. Nigeria remains largely undercapitalized relative to the size of its economy and population. Market penetration remains low, especially among the young people, rural communities, women-owned enterprises, and small businesses. This reality presents a compelling opportunity for market operators, regulators, policymakers, and professional institutions to deepen participation and democratize investment opportunities. What is the future of our market? As we look ahead, the future of the Nigerian capital market will be shaped by 5 critical factors. Number 1 is technology and digital transformation. Technology is redefining global finance. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, digital assets, big data analytics, fintech innovations are transforming the way investments are created, traded, and managed. The Nigerian capital market must continue to embrace digital transformation to improve efficiency, transparency, accessibility, and investor experience. Institutions that fail to innovate may struggle to remain competitive in the next foreseeable future. The second thing I'd like to highlight is investor education and financial literacy. A sustainable capital market depends on informed investors. There is a pressing need to intensify investor education across all demographic groups, especially the youth population. Financial literacy must become a national development priority. As professionals, we must continue to educate Nigerians on the benefits of long-term investing, wealth management, retirement planning, and capital market participation. An enlightened investor community strengthens market stability and promotes inclusive economic growth. The third thing I would like to highlight is sustainable finance and ESG investing. The future of finance is increasingly linked to sustainability, environmental, social, and governance. Considerations are becoming central to investment decisions globally. Investors are now prioritizing institutions that demonstrate ethical governance, environmental responsibility, and social impact. Nigeria must position itself strategically within the global sustainable finance ecosystem by developing green economies, climate finance initiatives, social impact investments, and sustainable infrastructural financing models. This transition presents enormous opportunities for indigenous financial institutions. The fourth thing is human capital development and professionalism. No market can go beyond the quality of its professionals. The future of the Nigerian capital market depends significantly on the ethical leadership, continuous professional education, competency, and integrity of its professionals, and investment potential. Our challenge is not lack of capacity, but the need for stronger institutional support, policy, consistency, and strategic collaborations. Indigenous institutions must move beyond survival to global.
From some developments, but after some time also problems. And at that time, no doubt we thought it was a hospital for finance because they don't really how to solution. And at one point, we were in last case, and I approached him, and we just said, my grandfather is just going there. Don't pay that. And he gave us some of the money that paid us out. And the cost became big and university. So he contributed to that hospital, which really is the first hospital quoted in the stock.
Then came 1994, a defining moment for Nigeria's financial system. Banking licenses were revoked, institutions collapsed, and for many, it marked the beginning of the end. But not for Otumba Ajayi. What he had built was more than a business. It was a foundation.
He was a very hard-working man. He had a lot of ideas. And he had a lot of dreams. And those dreams, they all came to pass because apart from financial trust, financial assurance, certainly, then we branched into the merchant bank, which was financial merchant bank. I single-handedly typed, printed, and put together the memorandum of article of financial merchant bank.
We have a dynamic management team and home management meeting regularly. That will brainstorm and the way forward. And our way forward projection was right. That was it. With his leadership, we were able to project and achieve a lot.
Financial trust endured. Its stockbroking arm remained. Its expertise held firm. Its relationships stayed intact, providing a base to move forward.
When he was alive, he was choosing quality people, and he touched them. More or less, took his own behavior and said, "This is how you behave to clients. They are bringing their money to give you. They have faith in you that you will come and tell them, not told you tomorrow." And he's that kind of person. And there was not a single day throughout his life that the stock exchange called him to come and answer a query. Not from a stockbroker, not from any staff of the stock exchange, and definitely not from me. However, he helped a lot of people, a lot of younger stockbrokers that are going to him to ask him. He gives them the right answers.
He was a Nigerian patriot who lived in his country. In spite of everything that he went through in the latter years, he lived in Nigeria. He believed Nigeria should participate in the commanding heights of the global economy. That things that can be done outside can be done here. We focus that the talent is in the country, the mindsets, the people, the resources are here. And we can be big as we want to be. Our own growth is justified by our own efforts. If we put in the effort, the results will come. That's the belief system my father had as well. And so we continue to believe that we can do these things in Nigeria.
Financial solutions.
There's a market changing, dynamics of the market are changing. The capital market is growing from $1 billion in 1976 to 170 trillion naira. When I look at the figures, you just have to say someone's vision and perseverance to see that vision that we could get involved in the market, create institutions that will train the next generation of broker dealers through the CIS. And those are the dealers today handling the equities and fixed income products and a whole bunch of products that are today helping to create capital and drive development in Nigeria.
In terms of integrity, transparency, financial trust has been able to raise their heads high among others due to a lot of being prudent in the management, the good deployment of resources. That has really helped the organization, and that is why we are very, very proud.
From one man's conviction to a legacy of trust, 50 years on, this is more than an anniversary. It is proof that discipline sustains vision and tenacity builds institutions that stand the test of time. The journey continues and the next 50 years begins now.
50 years was half a century. I think it's a magnificent thing to celebrate 50 years in business. It grew considerably and it is still functioning, and I pray to continue to function for another 50 years.
Kudos to me and his siblings for the good work they have done and for the progress they have made. We can only support them in prayers, that our prayers will be heard on the throne of grace, and they will continue to do better, and they hand over the business in continuity and infinity.
I read that well. I mean, the present PMD Amadi was working with his dad even before he died. So he must have learned a bit of whatever it took for success to be sustained from his father to get wherever he is today. So I wish him well.
So kudos to me for keeping the flag right.
Dr. Sanford used to come in another 50 years and another not 50 years. And we should come to continue with our expenditure. I'm grateful for giving best service. And I'm sure we will continue to follow. And those who are running the company, we should have plenty of success too. Then they would like to be with them and with the company and
I congratulate this company. The fact that you are still existing says what I said about him.
50 years is a little long time to be in our industry, in our ecosystem. We're very, very happy with that. But it speaks really to the long-term enduring nature of the markets that we have, the sustainability and things like that are good examples of that.
It's a family who always feel proud to be associated with those companies that have been there 50 years. We will continue to get more and more that is the partner that are going to reach that position. And when you look at even our top 10 brokers, what they have been doing, I can beat my chest that all over the world, we have the resources, we have the material, we have the people, we have the technology that we can compete globally.
Ladies and gentlemen, the eyes have it. I am now a son of the founder. So, Ross, you are not my brother. I will come after you before the rest of us. That was indeed a good one, wasn't it? And I think on account of what we saw on the stockbroking, we listened to him when he said,
shape his trajectory. They've managed policy shifts, navigated economic cycles, and kept our ecosystem moving forward. Before we dive into the deep end and I give them their proper introductions, I want to put them on the spot to break their ice. I just wanted to the panelists now. When you look back at your deep experience inside this 50-year journey of local market participation, what is the one single word that defines your time on the ground? I think we should start that with just one word.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we should begin. Signed my form when I was applying.
Alexander Omani again, and his team, congratulations. Today, I will talk through what it looks like, or what it looked like. The stock market originally, all the stocks, the 3 or 4 stocks, were written on the blackboard. After that, we moved to tackling the daily officials, which is distributed every morning when you get to the trading floor. Before we finally moved to the stock exchange daily. The stock experience, to look at the journey itself. How did we start? As I said, we started from writing on the blackboard, security, quoted at the state, until we moved electronic. But the biggest impact really was in 1997, when automated trading system was central security planning system was introduced.
So maybe I should help and say it's impactful or transformational. Is that your?
The transformation was the foundation of what we have achieved so far.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Brick.
Well, if you ask me, I would say I like to use the word evolution because the market is there.
The journey for you is evolutionary. Mr. Denny.
I would say that, first of all, good morning everyone. For me, I would just use the word because we have gradually watched markets grow, like you said, grow very volume, both financially and otherwise.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you. So, I'll just do a brief introduction. That was Colossians. For those who the gentleman starting on the left of my left hand, Kadosi Oladipo Aina. I'm not sure I need to introduce him anymore. When you watch the documentary, you see him speak to those years that Financial Trust has lived through. And next to me is the regulator, the representative of the
Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Director of the Lagos Directorate, Mr. John Briggs, and Mrs. Adedi is the Director at Best World Security. We welcome all of you. So let's just dive in quickly. We don't have much time. So I'll start with you, sir, obviously. So you have the opportunity to tell us about what happened in those periods up till now. You cast your mind back to the earliest years of your involvement in Nigeria's capital market. What was the state of the market and what drew you to it?
Well, the said earlier, I never knew about it. I was actually in the international department when I was in Al Merchant. But as COVID we have, I was transferred to NSL, Desktop Brokers, Old Desktop Brokers. So it was an opportunity for me to now know more of it. I saw that there's a way, room for me to create just follow. Let me just realize that it was an opportunity for me. And having seen at least two Ashwagi called Otumba Oloro Otumba Tububa, those were icons. So we saw them as, so that encouraged me, for example, to look at the possibility of having a stock broker.
Let me just quickly follow through with another question to you, because you're probably the longest serving person on this panel in the market. What would you describe as the most formidable structural obstacles facing indigenous stockbroking firms in their first decade of existence?
Well, part of the biggest problem we have, the issue of capital. And unfortunately, at the risk of being sanctioned, our regulators have not been helpful in terms of persistent increase in share capital. That creates a destabilization for most firms. Some people started their wisdom to make it a family business. So there is a structural defect there. And when challenges come, many of them will not survive. I say capital because when you are told to go, initially it was 70. Then somehow they said we should go to 200 million or 300 million. Not all firms are able to provide that. It was a big problem. If you look at the meltdown of 08, 07, 08, before the 07, 08, a lot of stockbroking firms were offered unsolicited credit, and the banks were actually begging people to come and sign this document to show that when we are pursuing the forbearance is there. Because of the rascality of that moment, it created another destabilizing factor on business. So it's only the banks, it's only the stockbroking firms who are affiliated to banks that whether that's.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Briggs, I know you are dying to respond. But I know Mrs. Adeni did not live that period. But do you have a view?
Thank you very much. So I definitely lived through that period because one of the things that actually drew me into the market, like the experience of our host for today, is the fact that at the time, at least in the early 90s, around 89, 88, the market was still evolving. It was still manually operated. And then the first thing I noticed was that it was actually a gender-based profession. It was an all-men affair, correct? So, and of course, soon after school, I happened to have been the only daughter of my father. And you know how it was.
Also a stockbroker.
Exactly. My father was number 50, was FCS 50. And you know daughters and their fathers. So he got me interested in the market. And then I just noticed that I kept training the young men. You know, I came in as a graduate, and then people, guys who are, male, younger than I, coming to the company, I would train them. And 5 years from now, I kept training. And the next thing I got to know was that it's an all-men profession. A female gender cannot, come into it. And I spoke to my father, who was then chairman, and he said, well, I spoke to the DG, then Apostle Alile, and he said, oh, she can take to the marketing line. She doesn't she cannot come in, she can't do the exam. And of course, being the rugged person that I was a no-no. I kept at it. As soon after my father traveled and left the company for me to care for, I went up to the DG and I've done a lot of work. I'm going to try. At the next council meeting, I'm going to actually put in a word for you. And if they say yes, then it's yes. And of course, that is history because the next thing I noticed was a letter of approval, delivered to our office physically there and saying that the only condition will allow the first female to become, to write the exams is if she's appointed as the managing director. Of course, since I was already active, the rest is history, and here we are today. The first female president is, the first female president of the CI is already appointed, and there we are. Several females are coming, having opened the gate through for this profession to be an all-gender-based profession.
Thank you very much. Well, we've had our own Beijing experience, the stockbroking profession. So let me come quickly because we don't have much time, to Mr. Briggs. I'm sure you want to react, but at least give us a perspective to what Kabiyesi said about the obstacle that they have faced in the market.
Okay, so you're just trying to put me on the spot, right? So for capitalization, issues around capital, the essence of capital to ensure that as a market operator, you're able to have capital to buffer level of risk you're carrying. Now we find ourselves in a market, in an economy where the capital was no longer sufficient with the amount of risk carried. So first, devaluation of our currency happened over the years. If you have, and when you want to play internationally, if you see a Nigerian stockbroker with 200 million capital, compare it, what is 200 million for instance, when you look at it in dollar terms, then now compare it with other capital market, another stockbroker, say in the US or even in South Africa, there is no much. So, despite that, you look at the market itself. Professionally, how do you get to employ quality staff? What level of technology do you want to use? Technology costs money. We have moved beyond where you write on the board. Now we are talking about financial technology in enabling capital market. You want to trade remotely. What kind of cyber security do you have? What kind of privacy policies do you have that you have automated? It's cost money. Besides, one major thing that we need to tell ourselves is that when we talk about capital, our capital is your money, it's proprietary funding. It's for you to also invest. But what we are saying is that when shock comes, you should be able to have a buffer. Thank God the KPC is an ancestor. If I am sitting two ancestors, yeah. So, thank God the first one, we said capital, the buffer. Yeah, so will you now tell me that in the middle of all the technology we see today, in fact now we are talking digital assets, and if we are not ready, like we keep discussing with shares, and you see this digital asset, this generation that are coming, so take business out of the stockbrokers we have today. If you are not ready to do business, so how do you do it? You need capital that can match them. You now need to even employ some of them to work for you, otherwise they are out of the market.
I would love for us to continue. I'm sure it will continue that this panel itself. But I wanted us to just...
I need you to agree with me that it's not punitive for the regulator to say at this point in time, let's risk capital so that our market also becomes a world class one.
It's a conversation I was sharing. No, you didn't. So it's neither here nor there. But I want to explore a few other things because I wanted OKBSC and Mr. Denny to just share their perspectives on the 2008 crash. I know you spoke a bit about it now when you were talking about your experience, where a lot of money was lost, market capitalization was destroyed. In fact, a couple of days ago, the group chair of MPS was sharing that we have just gotten back in dollar terms to the same capitalization we had in 2008. So we've come a full circle and just gotten back to where we are. So I wanted to hear your perspective. What did the crisis reveal about the fragility of our indigenous market infrastructure? But the question will go to both KBSC as well as Mr. Denny. You want to go first? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. It's all been well. So I just like to just comment a little bit about my observation. In 2028-27 market meltdown, one thing I noticed was that the depth of our domestic funding, was very shallow. The sense that because most of the funds that were coming in at that time were still majorly diaspora funds, and we found a situation where because we were not connected globally, it was the rippling effects of the international market starting from the New York Stock Exchange that actually affected us. I didn't notice that just like their real estate investment trusts, because of their real estate mortgage issues that came up, had a way of affecting their own market. And when we were looking here thinking that, it's far away in the US, before we knew it, the rippling effect affected us directly. It was just a couple of months after, just like the market was crashing, before we knew what was going on. Funds that diaspora funds came, on a large level of withdrawal, and before you know it, our market was crashing. So this would mean that we should do everything possible to make sure that our ecosystem investment in Nigeria is more of domestically funded than foreign. That's my own observation.
In 1997, we had a little crash. But because we were able to survive because the materialization of securities has not commenced, but has just commenced. So we have quite a lot of it with people. The major investors were the insurance companies, life insurance companies. By 2008, a lot of instruments have been dematerialized. So the velocity of trading has stopped. And so the impact of the drop, the impact of the 08 problem was more devastating than 1997. That time, the foreign investors was about, local investor ratio was about 60% foreign, 30%. And because it was a global problem, the simplest thing they could do was to withdraw. That's why it has got problem. But currently, we are now back to the 208 level. As you said, I agree with you. Why what happened in 08 cannot happen now is very simple. That time, again, look at the investors. Investors were waiting for, the old investors were more of, they depend on dividends. But the new investors now are more into capitalization. So, and that's why cyclically see people taking profit. But the gain has balanced a lot. So technology, in essence, has helped. And research, if you remember, there was a meeting that was called to caution people because of their what Alan Greenspan called exuberance. So we have to call people to say, please be careful. Agreed, we are now in 208 level, but it has to be monitored properly.
So your view, we have more domestic participation, and so there's room for there's a lot of buffer, even if we have what you would call a crash. So let me just move quickly to Mr. Briggs and ask, how has the regulatory environment evolved over 50 years? And has that evolution been broadly helpful or harmful to the development of indigenous market participation? I mean, it's a continuation of what we just started.
Okay, so how we evolved? If you look at our market, we evolved from regulation from early just the committee and the central bank, capital issues committee, to the capital issues commission and later Securities and Exchange Commission decree before the Investment and Securities Act was now put in place. So now, what has happened? We have moved from a manual process where we were doing the call-over system. We have moved from there to now we are getting to a point where we are at the point where technology is now used to drive the market. Just like the president of this CIS said, in fact, I think there is a meeting ongoing, was supposed to be in T+1 today, and
now going to be June 1st.
Yes.
Because 29th is the point.
Yes, that's June 1st, yes. So now the point we're making is that if you look at the market is moving towards digitalization. Right? When we had all the issues of investors' certificate being held, loss of certificates, theft of certificate, and all that passed through dematerialization. Now we have direct cash settlement, and so simple payment of dividend and all that. So where we are now is digital asset. We are looking at tokenization, stable coins, So the market has changed.
Indeed, the market has actually grown. But what I wanted you to actually speak to, whether it has helped indigenous practitioners like FTC.
Yeah, so I'm coming to that. We have a lot of indigenous practitioners in this market. I don't need to mention them. So this market looks like a market that is privately driven. Regulations are in place. In fact, when I was coming here, I was discussing with my colleague how this market is faring. You see, this market is a market the way we are now that we have put regulation in place to expand this market. This market helps growth of indigenous companies. Even the capital, now the capitalization that is ongoing, the market can actually fund it, just like it funded the banking sector. Has it helped indigenous firms? Yes, for those who have tried to tap into it. Now, compliance is something that the Commission has taken seriously at this point. As we speak, we are looking at digital supervision, which of course becomes a bit more tricky for the operators, because with digital supervision, issues of compliance and non-compliance will be treated in line with the ISA. And you know, this ISA is also not smiling with the level of sanctions that is still in it. And with the ISA that we have, just to also encourage indigenous firms, we have made sure that everybody who wants to do business in the capital market is registered, and those who fail to register and think they can just fly out from anywhere, based on our MOUs that we've signed with other jurisdictions, people are going to jail. And the ISA already specified how long people will go to jail. As much as 10 years, not minding the penalties you pay. So, what else has the regulation not done for indigenous companies? Other than just to improve. Then, of course, the CIS Institute is also there in conjunction with NCMI, because, of course, if you don't have the professionals on ground, no matter the capital they have, they can't compete. So there is regular training, NCMI is doing regular training, CIS is doing regular training, NGS is doing regular training. And of course, our laws, the SEC we have today is an SEC that scores. Those of you sitting here are operators, you understand. SEC of yesterday is different from SEC of today. Now you can actually come with an ambition, I call it an ambition, and SEC will look at it and fine-tune it and tell you this is how it applies, this is how it will go in line with the regulation. We are not ambushing anymore. All we need is that we can give you guidance for you to comply. So when you now not comply, we now yield to fix it. So the market has evolved, and who will make it is the indigenous
practitioners. Thank you very much. Because of time, I have a hard stop in the next 6-7 minutes. The organizers will allow me. And I wanted to just piggyback on the issue of technology that I spoke about, and how both Fabis and Sadini to speak to that. But I just want to widen it a bit by asking, as all know, there's been a significant technology-driven democratization of markets globally. So what's the value here? Has Nigeria kept pace, and have indigenous firms been drivers or followers of that change? Does obviously, and then Mr. Deni will respond as well.
I would like to ask for that. You really have foreign firms We are 95% people. The only difference between the FCC of people, students of people, and the people, that we are not affiliated to America. That's it. So I can safely say that most of the firms are in. However, looking at technology has made life impossible. The only way you do adopt technology, pay their bill. Now people can use their app. Even on the regulator side, some of the returns that we take now becomes very automatic for us because the supervision has been analyzed and the stock exchange will expect to come in certain conditions to show how healthy you are. And once you can complete that, send it. Some of them on the weekly basis, some of them on a quarterly basis. So that gives the regulator, the primary regulator, for example, we know exactly how healthy you are. And I think technology has helped us really. So you save time. You want to get the transfer between two houses today, you are sure by tomorrow. That will be there. Technology, and you can do all that from the comfort of your home.
So that's a validation. I think to just make some clarification. Yes, now, what you just validated by your statement is that we have totally become indigenous practitioners and we don't have foreign men, unlike when he started his business in 1970s. So it validates what you have said, that we have actually transformed as a market. So, Mr. Daly, if you just quickly speak to that, and then we'll post it for the final question.
So, basically, at this point, we want to look at a situation where our current market policies would be focusing more on trying to create a more deeply trusted and more technologically driven inclusive market. What do I mean by this? Right now, we are looking at a market, we should be looking at encouraging a market that focuses more on consistently mobilizing funds from being Nigerian savings to Nigerian assets. How do we do this? We know that basically most of the investors in the market are all of these large pension funds, insurance investments, and then the REITs, the real estate trust, and then looking at diaspora funds and all of that. If we encourage a market, that will do everything possible to make sure that all of these funds are, transferred or encouraged to come into the market using more technologically driven platforms. Because we know that most of our Gen Zs, we already have millions of them using mobile apps already. So if we know we want our market to grow, we should be more focused on doing everything possible to make sure that this young one, the everyday young man on the streets, finds it, less cumbersome trying to get into investing in the market. How do we do this? Do everything possible to make sure that the government policies, that's what I'm saying beside one of our regulators here. The government policies are doing everything possible to remember this sector.
Next to the GMP. Thank you. Please hold on, sir. Sir.
We'll start with the introduction. I'm Martin Orji, the managing partner from Nexuka Capital, and also for Blackbit, which is an issuing house here in Nigeria. From Nexuka Capital is an international investment firm, a joint venture with Blackbit. Obviously, the capital market is key to us. And I've been in investment banking for about 27 years. Very keen interest in the Nigerian market, but also I think the idea will be looking forward to the next 15 years to see how the Nigerian market actually is able to compete will start from extreme end, Mr. Tan, to introduce yourself, and then we'll work our way forward.
Hello, my name is Richard Tan. I'm based in Switzerland. I work for a financial service provider, Amicorp Group. And therefore, I would like to congratulate Financial Trust 50th anniversary, and I want to congratulate Alex and his team for the work that they are doing. Look forward for our corporation and looking forward to the next 50 years. So, that's my background. I'm in investment banking, private banking. I work now for an international company in financial structuring.
I currently work for Open Infra Services Limited as the head of product engineering. Prior to Open, I had the privilege of working with major
Infrastructure, especially the market infrastructure. How is it prepping for the next 50 years, especially with tokenization, AI, and a wider product base?
Thank you very much. I think if you listen to previous speakers, they alluded to the fact that computerization or digitalization journey of the Nigerian exchange started in 1992 when CSCS was incorporated, but we actually went live when in 1997, and the trading engine itself that used to be a manual process was also automated, and people started trading electronic using computer in 1999. Now today, we've gone, and you can see some of the things. Before now, so you're moving from old to now, the settlement cycle then used to be T+14, meaning if you trade, for you to take ownership of the transaction, you need 15 days. From there, with technology, we brought it down to 5. From 5, we brought it down to 3. From 3, we brought it down to T+2. And we're also planning to take it to T+1 by 1st of June. And naturally, once we get to T+1, it means that we're probably looking at T+0. Now, in terms of the future, it's clear that with all the things that we're doing, we want to attract more people to participate in the market. We want to democratize access to the market. We want to invite more retail clients into it. So in terms of technology, we'll be looking at what artificial intelligence is going to do. We'll be looking at utilization of these assets. You will also have to build infrastructure that will support all these things. Some of which you already see today. 2-3 years ago, the number of teams or volume of value, there's still multiples of that. And multiples of that translate to you having to build infrastructure that will support big data. Because for us, orders are different from trades. So I can receive 500 million orders that will give me just 1 million trades. So you need to keep those data, and all these are things that the exchange is mindful of. Not only that, we have a leadership role that we're playing.
How they make their money. And you're going, come out, the fees are not opaque there, and people trust you, give more funds because also you expanded. Because the product base is very narrow. The market is very narrow. Fortunately, Albert, to expand. That's the future. I think if this can be handled.
As we await the chairman, GMD, please stand in between all of them. You'll be joined by the regent of Ijebuland. And right after this,
for 10.5 years. That is in the person of regent, the throne of Ijebuland, Dr. Chief Tony Buhu. God bless you, sir. The DG being represented by Mr. Briggs. The AG is being represented by Mr. Bimbola Babalola. The Group Managing Director, Financial Trust. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. First, I just want to
draw attention to what happened during the documentary of FTC. From what I can see from there, I know that the pioneer of this empire was very courageous in risk taking. He was a trailblazer, was man of the people, even at the high cadre. He was a man of idea and vision. I want to especially draw our attention to his stature. He was very tall. In all the assemblies, in all the groups where we saw him, he was tallest. Maybe that might account for his very tall vision. Last, I want to say that if you look at him very clearly, you will see that this man had a very bushy hair. A provider of kind of hairstyle. What does that tell me? He knew very well that he had a very huge task he's going to bear upon his company Nigeria Limited, one of the foremost indigenous stockbroking firms established by a renowned pioneer of our profession. The visionary legacy of this late founder, by Dr. William Olufemi Olatunji Ajayi, the founding president of the then Nigerian Institute of Stockbrokers, continues to speak volumes. At a time when the market operated under constraint of the open price system, bid, offer, shout and shout and shout, the late president of the FTC empire was already looking ahead beyond them, demonstrating real foresight by establishing a company that has not only endured but continues to thrive long after his passing. It is no small feat that Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited has successfully navigated decades of regulatory changes, policies somersaulting, economic cycles, institutional transitions, including periods of military and civilian administration. Through all this, the firm remained very resilient, compliant with regulatory provisions, and steadily progressing, continuing to strengthen its position in the capital space, market space. This reminds me very brief because we have had a lot, we have seen a lot. So, as a member of Action is very proud of you, as a valued member and a worthy ambassador of the ideas and professionalism that our association stands for. We therefore encourage you not to relent in your commitment to regulatory compliance, which has been the fulcrum of your success over the past 50 years. Indeed, your professional discipline has sustained your growth and the ability to weather the industry storm welcomes from so many of your colleagues in the past. As we often say, success in our market is best achieved through strict adherence to rules, which preserve value and protect long-term profitability. I want to congratulate you, Lee, because you took a very decent line of action of profession. You maintain it, and you are thriving in it. Your team, yourself, your board, everybody, I think we need to congratulate you all because you have done very well. We have seen companies that started just in 5-10 years, they are no more. And there are some that you hear their name ringing bells with towering credentials, but in no distant time, they are no more. But you keep the flag flying. I want to congratulate you. I want to wish you on behalf of the Association of Security Building Houses of Nigeria, ASHAN, a very good success as you progress in your life. As you expand your horizon within a well-regulated and transparent market environment, may your future remain bright. May your aspirations and operations be prosperous, and your legacy ever be more enduring. We look forward with you with great anticipation to those centenary celebrations, because many are still coming. Your children will see heritage. So may God preserve our lives and continue to expand the functions of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited, as well as every one of us here. Thank you. God bless. My time starts from now.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Antonia. Everybody join me. Happy birthday to she has asked me to tell all of us that once she's going, we should all follow her. The party is in her house. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Many congratulations. It's a double celebration, as has been mentioned. We're commemorating 50 years for FTC, but we're also celebrating me. It's my Ruby anniversary today, exactly as well. So thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. I want to just give my own goodwill message on behalf of the pension industry of Nigeria. PENOP is the umbrella body of all licensed pension fund operators in Nigeria. That means all of the pension fund administrators, all of the closed pension fund administrators, and also all of the pension fund custodians. And we believe very strongly that we're an ally to the the private capital industry and all of the different aspects of that industry. And of course, it was our pleasure to be part of this very auspicious event.
I must make some corrections for this one. And I'm quite glad that I'm here to celebrate 50 years Financial Trust. I'm not the chief executive of Green. I left that about 10 years ago. I also say one thing. When I saw a picture, a program in which Financial Trust was doing the public offer for sale on TCBC for Savannah, around that period I was very active also in the capital market. I was doing UBA around the same time. When I saw that picture, that's almost 35, 36 years ago, and I heard what my regulator also said about those of us that have been here for some time. We ask ourselves about time, but stand aside. But really to congratulate FTC. I must also acknowledge our dear father here, the regent of Jebulan, Benioja. Thank you very much. He's been sitting here so patiently. There's some things we have to learn from that generation. Come on time, we still we young people are still trying to get to that level. Thank you very much for being here. I also see my mom here. I've been seeing people I know. I remember when we were all in the trenches in capital market. So really for me, I'm speaking really of somebody who has associated with this company for quite a while. So it's really to congratulate you. And I must commend the current leadership of the company, Chairman Mr. Alexander Wani Ajayi, the Managing Director, for continuing to uphold and advance the legacy of excellence. Financial Trust has become over the decades. I must pay tribute to the founders, past chairman directors of this company, whose sacrifices and dedication have built the institution into what it is. 50 years of legacy is never the work of one generation alone. It is the cumulative impact of committed leadership across time, it building upon the foundation laid by those before. I mean, as somebody who is also, like I say, the second generation in a firm that was started almost 40 years ago, so we are now here 50, I quite appreciate what exactly is going through what we're doing. And I quite like the theme of today's program, 50 years of industrial excellence. shape the future of the Nigerian capital market. As of May 2026, as of yesterday, the Nigerian exchange crossed 161 billion naira. When you mention that kind of 161 trillion. For those ones that started years ago, we were raising 100 million and see we've done a lot. 161 trillion. Clearly, it's really a number. So we are seeing a renewed resurgence in the marketplace. Many things have driven this momentum. Clearly, the reforms of this administration, stronger regulatory oversight, and the liquidity that we're seeing has clearly given rise to this. And what is particularly encouraging is that indigenous institutions and what I call even local investors are part of this journey, and they are contributing significantly to what we are seeing in the market. And for us, when we look ahead, the future of the Nigerian capital market is indeed very promising. We now have the mouth-watering Dangote refinery that is coming up. I mean, the kind of interest that is coming there is just phenomenal. From within the borders of Nigeria and outside Nigeria. That's telling you now that we're now having the kind of companies that is going to propel the Nigerian stock exchange to be counted as one of those truly transformative markets. So clearly, as we celebrate this progress, we must remain focused on the work ahead. Sustained growth will depend on continued macroeconomic stability, disciplined policy implementation, and at all costs, we must manage inflation. We must continue to have better investor protection, and there must be improvements in market infrastructure governance. So, on behalf of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, letter written to me was addressed as President of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, but for me, I go beyond that. Because really, on behalf of all of us that are also involved in the Nigerian capital market, I can only commend Financial Trust Company for its enduring contribution to the evolution of Nigeria's capital market and for convening this important conversation at such a defined moment in our nation's economic journey. Once again, congratulations on the golden jubilee, and I wish the institution many more decades of impact, innovation, excellence. Thank you very much.
By Prince Abimbola Olashari, Olashari said,
Yoruba culture, you don't speak after the elder. And I insist that I don't do that, but they said I must. So with your permission, sir, can I go? Thank you. I think to save time, I would say we also have a tradition. I will want to recognize the Ibrahim Okode, our former past president. Good afternoon, sir. The chairman, Ashon. I also recognize you, and my regulator representing the Securities and Exchange Commission. So all protocol duly observed. My own name is Akinbola Babalada, but I am representing Mr. Jude Chebeka, the CEO of Nigerian Exchange Limited. So let me read this speech. Said distinguished chairman of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited, members of board, managing director and management team, esteemed regulators, captains of industry, market operators, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to join you today to celebrate the 50th anniversary Golden Jubilee Symposium of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited, an institution whose story is deeply interwoven with the evolution of the Nigerian capital market itself. 50 years is not a mere corporate milestone, it is a testament to resilient, relevant, institutional character and sustained contribution to national economic development. In a market environment that has witnessed multiple cycles of reform, volatility, liberalization, technological disruption, and structural transformation, Financial Trust Company has remained present, adaptive, and committed to the advancement of Nigeria's financial system. On behalf of management and board of Nigerian Exchange Limited, I extend our warm congratulations to the board management staff.
Aisle, and those on the left, your lunch is right behind you by the entrance. So just walk to the back. You serve yourself. 765-432 and 1. Thank you. Now can we have all the children of Otumba Ajayi, 2 and 1. Thank you. Thank you very much. These are members of the FTC family. Are we ready? FTC Financial Trust Company. We're doing this at the count of 10, 9, 8.
Function 5 of the best to do. This man calls me. He didn't have to do that.
While we're enjoying our lunch, the cultural troupe will entertain us. So you can occasionally turn one side with your head to the front and enjoy their performance. Let us welcome the cultural troupe for their performance. Thank you.
He did it good, and what helped him? It was not him, it was God. He couldn't have done it without. It was like a genius. He had brains. He was wanting
He was ready to bring out the results. We realized that looking at cost came and a common offer. So that's that when you follow your leader, you are likely to get to the destination quicker. And so that's why I say he's a leader.
Among the Yoruba people of southwestern Nigeria, it is a very entertaining dance done by professionals. Usually carries songs, dance, and chant. In certain accounts, the water dance is attributed to Shango, the strongest deity in the Yoruba land. He has extraordinary powers, physics, and so let's welcome the performer.
pray. So we are going to sing the same song in Ijebu for those who speak Ijebu. Otherwise, I stand on your behalf to sing it in Ijebu. Ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o, ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o, ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o. Dédé ẹni sọ wá, dédé ẹni sọ wá, dédé ẹni Buso,
Financial Trust Company, Chiwe Igboegu, Chiwe Igboegu, please come forward to receive this award on stage from the MD, Chiwe. IFM manager, facility manager, he manages the 20-something story building that the foundation was made in 1986. Ibuku, 23 years ago. And imagine, fresh from school or fresh from NYSC, you joined NTC. At that time, she was just a young girl growing in her career. Now she is a dutiful and loving grandma. Congratulations, Mama. This is Oshunson. This is Yinka Oshunson. This is it. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for standing beside our Papa and doing your job diligently in the earliest days of FTC. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. The next elections, thank you, sir, Mr. Ogu Koya. We celebrate you, sir. We were there together, working alongside Papa. In bullish times, in the of FTC, Mr. Pelemo Okikiola, to the President and Chairman of Council of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, and it's been received by the President of LCFE.
We have all, we have seen, and we have all conquered. Everyone will agree with me that the 50th anniversary of Nigeria's first indigenous stockbroking firm, Financial Trust Company, has further confirmed that it is blessed with talent in all sectors. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the supremacy of God for giving us good weather and making the day a reality. On behalf of the board and management of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited, I would like to appreciate the following institutions and individuals for their contributions towards the success of our anniversary. Number one, we are proud of our father of the day, Ogbeni Dr. Sonny Buku OFR, DG of SED, Security of Exchange, Security Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomo Timwe Agama, FCS, represented by the Director of SED, Lagos Donor Office, Mr. John Bridge. Let me especially thank the former DG of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Professor Ndi Okereke Oyinke, FCS OON, for your presence and your cooperation all through the journey we have with the CEO of Nigerian Exchange Limited, represented by Mr. Abimbola Babalola, FCS, the entire NGS family. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. NGS Group, NGS Limited, NGS Regulations, you are appreciated. Central Security Clearance System, yes, you are appreciated. The first female president, Charter Institute of Stockbrokers, Mrs. Fiona Ahirna, FCS, the registrar, Charter Institute of Stockbrokers, Mr. Ayoride, Adeodepeku, FCS, the entire family of Charter Institute of Stockbrokers present, and the people that have helped you, thank you, we appreciate you very much for your contributions. I want to especially thank Mr. Bayo Ajayi, FCS of Wood Capital, and Mr. Richard Ajayi for excellent work done toward the success of this anniversary. Appreciation also goes to Mr. Akishola Akeredolu Ali, FCS Managing Director of SCFE, represented by the Executive Director. I also want to thank you, Mrs. Antonia Ifeanyi of PENOP. Let me seize this opportunity to appreciate the media team, headed by Mr. Shalawani, FCS, Mr. Moshood Isamotu, and all other media houses present and those that have worked with us all through this preparation. Thank you very much. Appreciation goes to the entire Ajayi family, both home and abroad, family, friends, and former staff of FTC for the support in various ways to make this occasion a success. Today's event is a testament to the fact that FTC is truly Nigeria's first indigenous stockbroking firm, and the legacy of our iconic Otunba Olufemi Ajayi will remain evergreen and continue to thrive for generations to come. My appreciation goes to the board and staff of Financial Trust Company Nigeria Limited for your cooperation. Thank you very much.